Ooh. What is up, y'all? Hey, 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 hey. What am I shooting back in the basket? Oh, what is up, y'all? This is my weekly. Weekly. What's today? I don't know what today is. This is the random rant with me. Today somebody asked me a real good question, but I felt was fucking stupid. Is a who you think would win in a fight? I think it was One Punch Man versus Goku. This is one of my really random things, and in my personal opinion, uh, I would think off the top of my head Goku would win. And most people are debate is One Punch Man defeats everybody in one punch. And my argument is One Punch Man hasn't fought anybody strong. And they told, and then the counteract is, uh, what was it? That he what about the dude at the end? That dude at the end was garbage. I mean, don't get me wrong. One Punch Man is a great anime. I like it. I watched it in Japanese. I hate the American dub. That shit sounds like garbage. I don't know who or what person thought that would be great, but in my head it's just nonsense. And the reason why I feel Goku would win, you have to remember Goku and all the Z Warriors fight people that can blow up a planet with the sneeze. Let's start off with let's go back to the Frieza blowing up planet Vegeta. He blew it up, not even really trying in base form. Uh, I don't know what did Frieza has a power level of. I'm thinking like 50,000. Don't quote me on that. When they fight on Namek, but I understand One Punch Man is meant to be a parody, but it's like one of those things. It's like who would win in a basketball game, the Harlem Globetrotters or LeBron James? It's like the Harlem Globetrotters are obviously like a funny team, and LeBron James is a serious basketball player. Don't get me wrong, Harlem Globetrotters, they're all serious basketball players. That's not to be underestimated. But what I'm saying is that One Punch Man, I so understand he's a spoof character. There's a lot of written like fan animes about it, but it just doesn't make like in my head. I know it's a joke, but at the same time, I think Goku would absolutely destroy One Punch Man in base form. He wouldn't even have to turn Super Saiyan. Like think about it. He's trained. I think the gravity he's trained. Has Goku trained in heavy gravity? No, but I know he has one in the room of spirit and time, which is the hyperbolic time trainer, and I know he has fought. He has trained in there on multiple occasions. The first time being with Gohan for the Cell games, and they didn't go again. I remember the quote being that I think Piccolo or Vegeta asked, no, Vegeta asked Goku, "You're not gonna go train again in the time chamber?" He's like, "Unlike you, I don't need to." And then Vegeta looks at him like he is stupid. In all honesty, the One Punch Man is a human being. Point blank, he cannot fly. He cannot use instant transmission. If you want to calculate, I'm not good at calculations. Don't ask me shit about math. But let's break it down. One Punch Man was sent to the moon in the last episode, and he flew back. Now the distance between the moon and the Earth is like probably like don't say again. Don't quote me on this. I don't know, but it's far as fuck. So, but if you were to break that down from Goku sensing somebody's energy across the universe like King Kai's and using the instant transmission over there, and then him fighting, let's say fighting Jiren, and those dudes were probably moving like damn near or moving faster than the speed of sound. It only makes sense to me. And oh shit over there, but that's just where I break it down. Like it makes no sense. I feel like Goku just punched that dude in the stomach, and that dude's nuts would blow out his asshole. As simple as that. Another thing somebody asked me about, what do I think about the current state of wrestling? I'm a big wrestling fan, and on my end, I've watched from from when I for like the first time I really like sat down and watched wrestling was like 97, 98. From there till I stopped in like right when like Brock Lesnar and John Cena started wrestling, and then I started again and when The Rock came back. So I would say that's like 2010. So I missed a good period of the ruthless aggression era, and the just pretty much that, and then when it turned into PG. So the last time I had watched wrestling as a kid, John Cena was still talking about his theme song was "Word Life." The one was like, "You a philosopher?" Yeah. So I understand that this is the PG for everybody that doesn't know. Let's break down wrestling. So there's the golden era. That's like Hulk Hogan, Macho Man, Ric Flair, Dusty Rhodes days, and then there's like after that, I believe, is the Attitude Era. So that is where DX, Triple A, oh well DX Triple H isn't DX. It'd be like DX, China, Austin, Rock, all versions of Mick Foley, Mankind, Dude Love, and Cactus Jack. The Dudley Boys, all of that, and then after that, there's Ruthless Aggression Era. So Ruthless Aggression Era that would include Bald Kurt Angle, uh, Rated R Superstar Edge, Christian, Jericho still, Lesnar, who else? Batista, Evolution, all that, and then now we are in the PG era. So that is all the Roman Reigns, Dean Ambrose, Seth Rollins, the New Day, all that. And like, I'm not a big. Don't get me wrong. I like the New Day. I like Kevin Owens. I'm really not feeling Dean Ambrose. I like what's his name? Not a big fan of Roman Reigns either. People ask me how do I feel about so like let me start off. How do I feel about new versus old? Obviously, with time changes, today's wrestling there is more. It's not as clunky as back then. So you figure like you take a guy like Randy Orton. He's a very fluid person in the ring. The RKO's out of nowhere. The RKO where he I think who is that? I think there's one where Cody Rhodes is like doing a shooting star press off the top rope and Randy Orton RKO's him. Seth Rollins tried to curse stop him. He I think he does an RKO out of nowhere, and then a bunch of that type of stuff, which I really like. And don't get me wrong, it's fluid, but then it's like then it comes to that point where like it's like there's matches that not every match is going to be great. Like I'm a big fan of NXT. Like the other promotions I watch some Ring of Honor, some New Japan, and most of that stuff. So when it comes down to it, I guess like I said, comparing the new to the old style wrestling felt very kind of unscripted. Like when you hear Stone Cold talk, he talks with passion. When you hear The Rock talk, he talks with passion. Like when you hear even Triple H, even though I'm not a big Triple H fan, he's like, yeah, it's the game, Rock, why don't you come down here? Like even when Jericho would talk, like they would just start talking out their ass. But nowadays, it's just like you get dudes like, I'm not bashing Roman Reigns at all. I mean, he's a great guy. I know he's a great wrestler. It's just not wow. It's like, yo, where's the thing? But that's about it. Like so, pretty much like it's just not for me. I watch it. I watch NXT. I like it better, and that's about it. That's just how I feel. So I'm gonna go through some. He waved. Was waiting. Ultimate. For me, I guess some people ask me who's my favorite. Like my favorite wrestlers. Like if I was to make a Mount Rushmore of wrestlers, like who would they be? It'd be Stone Cold, Mick Foley, The Rock, Flair. Damn. And then the last one is hard. It's like it'd be between Hogan, Ultimate Warrior, and Macho Man. And people ask me like, why wouldn't I include Triple H? I just didn't. I'm not a big Triple H fan, even though he's done a lot for the whole WWE brand from now till then. If you look at him as a character and what his major role is in it now, it's like whatever. No, it's not whatever. Well, he's a active dude, so he's kind of like the new Vince McMahon without being Vince McMahon, I guess. And then like Stone Cold, because Stone Cold pretty much is the Attitude Era. When you break it down, like thinking about it, goes to work, stunners, just fucks with his boss all day, drinks all day, really just does not on TV, just really just does what he wants. Like name somebody like The Rock. He was like with the Nation of Domination, then he was with the Corporation, then he kind of like branched off that and found his own identity. All before that was Rocky Maivia, and then when you take Mick Foley, he really pushed as far as the WWF, that like hardcore style of wrestling, him versus Undertaker, him versus that one match when The Rock just hits him with multiple chair shots in the head. What else? There's the Rock and Sock connection. Everything Perfect Cell is at my boy's house. I mean, at my boy's shop. Um, Other than that, that was great. And I don't know. The last one is left off for me. I don't know what to put. And then I guess the main other the things people have been asking me. What's up with my R33 GTR? The people I have the R33 GTR and I do have the R34 GTT. Currently, like the R34 is semi daily until I give it to my lady to daily, and then I'll have to use the R34. But other than that, the R33 sits at my boy's shop. It's nothing wrong. Let me not lie. There's nothing wrong with it. Like I can drive it around and excuse me. I can drive it around and it functions well, but I do need a tune. Like I've been driving it on a wacky ass like safe mode. That long story short, my dumb ass didn't listen to my friends. Not listen to my friends, listen to experienced people, and I ran a Borg Warner SX300, which is a pretty fair sized turbo, which is a big turbo, with a 38 millimeter wastegate, and they all told me I was gonna have boost creep and all that, and I was like, no, bro, I just want like reasonable horsepower. But then I took it to my tuner, and it boost spiked, so it's boost spiked at 423.5 at 20 pounds, and then he just let off, and he let me know right then and there, like I can fuck up your car now. We can blow it up on the dyno, or we can just put a safe tune on it until you get a bigger wastegate. So I told him, you know what, bro, I'd rather be safe. Just take the L. Pay. I already pretty much paid him for the retune. He did his service. I appreciate him. But then at the same time, then I had other issues like with exhaust leaks and everything. I wasn't too happy about that. But that was all on my own. I put that turbo kit on in my driveway with a good friend of mine, Julian. He helped me get all the stuff. He helped me like the final process of getting the stuff off the car, and then pretty much just trial and error, just me not really knowing what I was doing because I'm really cheap and I do not feel like paying a mechanic with anything. So in that on that note, it was more or less the mechanic. The dude was like, "Yo, you can pay me $100 an hour to install the turbo." I said, "What, motherfucker? I'm cool. I'm cheap. I'd rather learn and do it myself than pay somebody else." And it paid off. Long story short, my friend Derek was like, "You should really torque down all the bolts and get some APR manifold studs," and I did. So I ended up just getting some Loctite, putting it on the end of studs into the block. And the cool thing with the APR studs, they have like ARP, APR. I don't know if I'm saying it right, saying it wrong. You know what I mean? They have like hex nuts on the ends, so I put them in there. Got an HKS gasket from my boy Alex Rodriguez. He sold it to me for a very good price. Put that on there, and then I took my main exhaust flange where I was having the leak from. My boy Derek told me to spray some coating on. It's like this copper looking coating. Put it on there, and then pretty much that's what I did. Then put it all back on, and then the point of me taking off the manifold to do that because I ended up buying a 44 millimeter wastegate. So all in all, I wasted the like all together with both wastegates. I probably spent like a good $600 when I only really need to spend like $300 to $400 on one wastegate. So I fucked off my money, and then didn't have a wastegate. Like I had a wastegate, and then my dumbass plumbed it wrong, so I drove it all the way to Arsday with the port on the vacuum line on the wrong port. At the end of the day, I got it on the right port, and I've been just driving it on safe mode too. So it's like it feels great, but it doesn't feel fast. Like it doesn't feel like how it's supposed to look. So like it does everything and like shoots the flames from decel and all that cool stuff. But then I still have ignition breakup, all little bullshit RBs come with. So fuck you, Brad. I don't need nitrous. You need two cars around, boy. Come race me one day. I just Brad, I got my eye on you, my good eye. But yeah, that's the point. The point of the story is like when you build the car, build it right the first time. Learn from your uncle. I fucked that shit up good. In a sense, it was like I rushed it because I was so excited to just drive it that I didn't do it the right way. Had I just took an extra day or two to just go through everything, and I would have been okay. Another thing I wanted to talk about, a good friend of mine, John Hicks, his father was recently diagnosed with cancer, and the shitty part is that it's his dad. You know, everybody has family, and I understand that. And for him, his dad's like really close to him and everything. Like most people can't really say that they're close with their family sometimes. And for him, his dad is just everything. Like I talked to him and everything. We've had conversations about his father finessing the situation to benefit his point of view, which was a good thing. It wasn't anything negative. It was pretty much like how to make money. Like you buy low, sell high, and it was great advice. But for him, it just sucks. So, um, if you could just go help him out with that and everything. And then the main story, I didn't know how I was gonna put this, but I guess since I'm on live, people want to know how I got the R33. This is the story. If you are watching this now, this is how I got the R33. A couple of years, I could say, I'll start from the beginning. A few years ago, I was coming from a job interview at Virgin Galactic. Obviously, I didn't get the job. It was one of those things. It's like I was still in school to be a aircraft mechanic, and I was coming. It was like a twist of fate. I was coming down the street over by the Target, over by my house, and I'm driving. And I see R34 Gtr. At the time, I owned the R32, and I was driving a Mercury Sable. So I'm driving. I twist my hand. I was like, "Is that motherfucking R34 Gtr?" And then I was like, "Man, I should turn around." And then my instinct was like, within that quick second, I was like, "Fuck it, I'm gonna turn around." Turn around, low key posted up, and waiting for my boy, who was now my boy, who wasn't my boy back then, didn't know me like that, and he posted in his parking spot at Starbucks. I parked like 10 spots away, waited for him to get out, and I got like, "Yo, bro, I'm a big fan of Skylines. I have an R32 GTR." He gave me that face like, "Okay, cool." I was just like, "Do you mind if I just chat with you real quick?" He was like, yeah, bro, I'll be right back. I gotta get a drink for my girl." So I'm sitting here looking like this is like the first real time I've seen an R34 in person. Like the last time I saw one was like whatever. So when I saw it, I was like, damn. And then he comes out, we chatted up. I was like, "Yeah, man, I got a R32 GTR Nismo edition." So if you people that don't know, the Nismo edition is like only 500 of them made. I won't go into too much detail about it. Just look it up. So he's like, "Hey, I got a shop. You want to come down the street?" I'm like, "Fuck it, sure." This dude just invited me to a shop. I go down the street, it's literally like I could run there with my fat ass. I go. He opens the door, and it was like being out of like I kid you not. It's like something out of Fast and Furious. Opens the shop. There's an R34 V spec there, Honda Civic Type R, a S15, a R33 in midnight purple on bronze Volks, and a couple of right hand drive Supers. And I'm just sitting there like, "Yo, what the fuck?" And pretty much he's like, "Yeah, man, anytime you want, just bring your car down. Here's my number. Let me know when you want to bring it down." So we go back and forth, back and forth. I keep coming down there, chilling and everything, helping like move cars and fix cars. And he's like, "Yo, bro." I'm like, "Man, it'd be cool to work here." He's like, you can come by whenever you want." So it's one of those things like I don't work there, but I help. So I would just tag along with him everywhere. And then eventually I brought my R32 GTR, and his boy was like, "Well, what's wrong with his friend?" My friend, the good friend now, his name's Brody. He was like, "Yo, bro, what's wrong with your car?" I was like, "Man, this is a bunch of shit not working. I don't know what it is." Long story short, he was like, at the time, he had just took a bunch of parts off of R33 that was supposed to arrive, and he was like, "Whatever you need, just take, because I'm getting new shit." So long story short, then the green car comes. At the time, it wasn't my car; it was my friend's car. The green car comes, which is my R33 I have now, and I'm like, "What fucking shit is like?" Whoa, it's like it just hit me. And then when it comes, he's like, "You can drive it if you want." Like they had sent it to where is it? Auto Talent. Koji was working on it the whole time, and then I was like, "Fuck!" At this time, it was just a stock R33 GTR, just with a power FC and a big ass fuel pump. So I was like, "What?" And he was like, "Yeah, man, I trust you." Mind you, I never drove a Skyline. I only fucking just drove mine on and off the trailer. So when he takes it, he's like, "Yeah, I'm driving." Like, "Wow, this thing's amazing." He's like, "Yeah, man, it's having issues here and there, but I don't care." Long story short, it blows a heater core reload, heater core thing type hose in the back. Just like a couple months later, he's like, "Yeah, man, I'm thinking about selling it, and it's weighing on my mind." And I'm sitting there like, "Yo, what the fuck? And he's like, yeah, man, this is like so that was like in June. When this happens, this is like mid, it's like December, January. I'm like, fuck. He's like, you know what, I don't have any room in my house. If you can fix it, you can take it home and sell it. And I'm like, what? He's like, yeah. So I hit my boy up at who works at Pep Boys. I'm like, yo, what's the problem? What's this part? He's like, yeah, I can get this part right now if you need it. We have it in the back. I go get the part. It was like, shut your dumb ass up, bro. Fuck. Go jack off or something. So I go, I get the part. It's like, it's a cheap part. I plug it up in, and then I literally drive the car home. At this time, my license was suspended. I was driving sus. My boy, my first homie who I met who at the shop, helped me drive the car home. Like, he followed behind me. I was driving, and I was like, ever since then, I was working on the car. And then I posted the car up for sale. A bunch of people hit me up, and it's just like, yo. So bunch of people are hitting me up, and then it's like, yo, one dude tries to trade me 2 Subarus, the other guy tries to trade me fucking some bullshit, and then I'm like, ugh. One dude tries to trade 2 Subarus, some dude tries to trade a RX-7 FD, and I'm not feeling it. Well, my boy's not feeling it because he wants cash. I'm like, cool. Long story short, I was working like double overtime, and my boy I was like, can I drive this car to my job? My boss wants to see it. He said he might give me some overtime if it's a real deal. Long story short, my boss was like, yeah. I was like, for sure. And he was like, gave me the overtime. Long story short, I ended up working out a deal with my boy and I got the car. So that was 3 years ago. Fast forward 3 years. I've been putting a bunch of wrench time in it. And yeah, I say long story short a lot, but yeah, because it could be a longer story. I can go in depth like some Sunday NFL time, but that's pretty much it. But other than that, shit, what? Shut your ass up, ho. But yeah, that's it. So yeah, at the end of the night, dreams do come true. Work hard and don't eat butt from strangers.